My name is Patty Happy, and I'm the Wildlife Branch Chief here at Olympic National Park. We are very fortunate to work with our partners, Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, to do the first fisher restoration in the state of Washington, starting in 2008. We've monitored the population and determined that, yes, their reintroduction stuck. We still have fishers in the landscape, and they're expanding from out of the park. And a lot of that success was based on support we got from the Park Fund early on. But I kind of got concerned in the last phase of the research when we were looking at, are the animals still in the landscape and are they reproducing? We gathered genetic samples from all the fishers that came to our hair snares. And in that analysis, we determined that, yep, our founding animals are surviving up to 9 years, good sign. They're reproducing, we're getting first, second, and third generation fishers in the landscape, even better sign. But it was like the same cast of characters were showing up in the parent analysis for the ones that we could determine the parents. So we have an opportunity right now, while the Cascade reintroductions are still going on, to tag onto that program and just bring 10 more fishers down and release them here in the Olympics to do genetic augmentation. We've invested a lot in this, and this is kind of ensuring that an investment is going to be successful.
My name is Stephen Fradkin, and my title is the Coastal Ecologist and Limnologist at Olympic National Park. And the Coastal Ecologist, I'm the marine scientist for the park, and the Limnologist is a lake biologist. We've got close to a 1 million acre national park with a huge mountainous core that's got about 650 lake systems. And these areas are largely unexplored in terms of the distribution and abundance of amphibians. And amphibians are really important animals. They're charismatic animals for our Olympic ecosystems. And they're really important because amphibians worldwide, globally, are on the decline. And we have concerns about those amphibians in our ecosystem because they're a vital part of our food webs. And so we need to be able to understand what the status and trends and the distribution of those organisms are. And so we have a project to basically look at the status of a variety of our amphibian species in these mountain lakes. Now, mountain lakes are difficult places to work in because most of these lakes are only accessible about 3.5 months out of the year. The rest of the time they're covered with snow and ice. And on top of that, when we do get there, we have a very short amount of time to work. And amphibians, they move around, but they're cold-blooded creatures, so on really cold, rainy days, they might not move a whole lot, and you might not be able to find them, so they still might be there, but detectability can be an issue. So there's an exciting new technique called eDNA, which is environmental DNA. And all organisms, humans, rabbits, amphibians, we shed DNA just as a part of living. And as they shed this DNA, there are techniques now where you can collect water samples, filter those water samples, and collect that DNA actually onto, that has been shed into the lake water. You can take it back to the lab and you can analyze that DNA specifically for a variety of different species. So you can tell which species are in those lakes just based on the DNA that's shed in the water. So you don't necessarily need to have that animal in hand to say, aha, this is a Cascade frog. You just take 3 liters of water back with you, or actually the filtered from those 3 liters of water, and you run those analyses in the lab and you can say, in that water, there were Cascade frogs. And this project will provide vital information about the status and the trends of that amphibian community. Without WNPF funding, it is not clear that this amphibian work will be done.
We know that we need to do research and monitoring to understand what's going on in our ecosystems if we're going to save it for the future.
It's really good to know that we have a group out there that supports us, not just financially, but that actually supports us in our mission. That morale boost is a really important thing for us.